What is up, Film Geeks? My name is Trevor, and welcome back to my channel. Pixar's newest movie, Soul, just came out on Disney Plus yesterday, so that gives us 23 new Pixar movies that we have to rank. We're placing all 23 of these movies on their proper tiers. Join me in the comment section. How does your guys' ranking compare? Where do you place some movies low, and where do you place some movies high? I do not believe Pixar has a bad movie, just some I enjoy a lot less than I enjoy others. And with all that said, let's get right into our tiers. Starting off with our tiers, we have amazing, then we have great, then we have good, then we have okay, and then we have meh. Again, I do not believe Pixar has a bad movie, just some I enjoy a lot less than others. And we also have one surprise tier we're going to get to here in just a second at the very, very top. I'm going to be putting my top 5 favorite Pixar movies in that tier. And with that said, let's go ahead and start with Coco. These movies are in no particular order, and going into that first top tier, the elite tier, meaning my top 5 favorite Pixar movies, Coco earns a spot in that elite tier. When I first saw this movie in theaters, I did not like it. I did not believe the hype. But I rewatched it this year, and I've watched it 4 times this year alone. I love everything this movie brought. And every time when I watched it this year again, when I revisited it, something clicked for me that didn't click the first time. The animation style is gorgeous, like most Pixar movies, but something with this one, the use of color is absolutely beautiful. The whole afterlife going into there and the whole plot twist they have is everything. And how emotional it is when we find out who Coco is at the very end. Makes you want to cry. It makes you so happy, and the music in this is absolutely amazing. It gets you in the Pixar vibe, and this one truly captures the Pixar magic. Coco is in my top 5 Pixar movies. It is in the elite tier. Next up, we have Up. Up is not quite in my top 5 favorite Pixar. It is in the amazing tier. An amazing tier is not bad by any means. Up would probably come in right at number 6. I love everything about Up. This is my girlfriend's one of her favorite Pixar movies. The use of color for this one, especially when the balloons come out of the house, that just looks so real. It does not look like it's an animated movie. One of, if not my top 50 animated movies of all time, favorite movies of all time. This movie offers something that's an adventure, and an adventure is out there, which is the main slogan for this film. Adventure is out there. You got characters like Doug and Kevin, Russell, and Mr. Fredricksen. It's also emotional. It's also amazing. And that first 10 minutes alone, God dang it, man. It knocks you on your butt because it's so dang emotional. It's so dang sad. But after Mr. Fredricksen and his wife, Ellie, are not longer able to be together anymore, he finds a new relationship with his kid, Russell, who basically he becomes his mentor, and they go on this adventure together. Because adventure is out there. Up is absolutely amazing. Next up is Ratatouille, another one going in the elite tier. I love everything this movie offers. When I first saw it as a kid, I never really appreciated it that much, but I revisited it a couple years ago. I just fell in love. And every time I watch this movie, it gets better and better and better. Stick around at the end of the video for a final ranking of the Pixar movies to see where Ratatouille falls. It's up there pretty dang high. Remy is a fantastic protagonist, and him and Linguini's dynamic, even though they can't really communicate, their dynamic is absolutely perfect. It's so funny, and the whole creativeness about Remy grabbing Linguini's hair, moving it up, and Linguini stops, and he can control his movement is something so creative that the Pixar studios capture. It is so awesome. It's epic. I love everything about Ratatouille, and it makes you want to eat. It makes you want to go and cook some Ratatouille, and you enjoy that. Chef's kiss, huh? Alrighty, next up, moving on to Cars 2. Cars 2 is probably one of the worst of the bunch. We're going to be putting Cars 2 in meh. This is a movie I don't truly remember all that much. I need to go back and revisit it. I've seen it about one time, and that was more than enough for me. It focuses so much on Mater, and I enjoy the first Cars quite a bit, but the Cars 2 is just, it has a sequelitis type thing where it wasn't necessary, and everything about it just does not work. Next up, we're moving on to Brave. I think Brave is definitely better than Cars 2, but I definitely don't think Brave's all that great either. So I'm going to put Brave down there with Cars 2. It's just something about this movie that never really worked for me. Every time I watched it, I just felt like turning on How to Train Your Dragon instead. That's just me. I believe Brave won Best Animated Picture of the Year. Don't see how. I think it beat something pretty good, like Big Hero 6, I believe. So Brave is fine, but I've watched it once or twice, and I don't want to watch it again for another 20 years. We're going to move on. Next, it was WALL-E, and in my humble opinion, I believe WALL-E is one of the most overrated movies of all time. Fight me on that if you want down below in the comment section. I think WALL-E is good, especially the end, everyone's like a big hot dog, big fat person. Definitely messes with you mentally, but WALL-E, up to that point, it's a snooze fest, and I can't get past it. I'm going to put my WALL-E in okay. I think the message of it is much better than Cars 2 and Braves, but I'm going to put WALL-E in okay. If you guys would put it higher, let me know why. Next up, Monster University. Monster University It's going in the amazing tier. Say what you want. I absolutely love this film. I think it is a fantastic prequel. I'm a big prequel, sequel type of guy if they work, and this one just works well. How they have basically the frat house games, and Sully and Mike get to meet. We get to see how their dynamic forms, how it doesn't form, what pushes their buttons. We get to see everything we love about them in Monsters, Inc. back here in Monsters University. Monsters University is so cool. I wish I could go to Monsters University, the school itself, and these fraternity games are so awesome. This movie is inspiring. It's amazing. It's funny. It's a little bit emotional, and everything I love about Monsters, Inc., I love in this one as well. I love Monsters University. I'm probably going to get canceled for that. Don't care. What's up? Next up, we have Inside Out. Inside Out is good. It's good. It's not my favorite. Not even close to my favorite. It's good. I could definitely see where this movie is going to go, and I felt myself just being kind of annoyed with how the movie played on. Everyone says it's one of the best Pixar movies. It's absolutely amazing. It's dang good. It's dang good. It's one I've only seen one time, and I've never wanted to revisit it. I'm a big guy on rewatchability, and this is the one I find myself rewatching the least. Next up is The Good Dinosaur. The Good Dinosaur, right down there in meh. Just right down there in meh. Gives me lots of Lion King vibes, just not as good as The Lion King. The Good Dinosaur is cute and kind of annoying and kind of irritating, and this might very well be my least favorite Pixar film. Not a bad film. The animation style is absolutely perfect, but overall, it's not a film I really will ever rewatch. Watch it one time. That's about it for me. Next up, we have Finding Dory. I'm going to put Finding Dory in okay. I remember watching it in theaters thinking, you know what, this is cute, this is fun. And I love the character Bailey. Ooh, that's a fantastic character. Lots of cool characters in here. Just a movie I felt was a little bit unnecessary. And certain times when they make these sequels or these prequels or whatever you want to call them, sometimes it seems like a cash grab. And this is a perfect example of that. You guys can probably make the same argument for Monsters University. I just don't enjoy Finding Dory all that much. Really kind of repeats everything that Finding Nemo did. Just Finding Nemo did it 10 times better. Finding Dory's cute. It's fun. But it's just okay. It's not great to me. It's not good. It's just going to sit there right there in the okay tier. Next up is Toy Story. I believe what started this whole Pixar thing off. Toy Story. Up there and amazing. How you not love Toy Story? There's so many classic lines from Woody to Tim Allen. You are a toy. I'm not flying, I'm falling with style. Lots of awesome lines here. Lots of amazing characters. And who knew that this would start something so amazing that it's called Pixar today, that we know today. I love these characters, and I love that this got a 4-film little franchise. We should stop the 3. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But Toy Story is a way to kick off a animated studio franchise right. Pixar's Toy Story is still one of the top 10 Pixar movies. It's a lot of my friends' favorite Pixar movie. It's not quite there. It's top 10 for me, but not top 5. I love Toy Story. You are a toy! I just had to do that. Sorry, folks. Next up, we got Cars 3. Cars 3 is good, man. I like it a lot. My girlfriend got very emotional and she cried. Cruz Ramirez is very cool side character who ends up kind of becoming the main character. And Lightning McQueen back in action is awesome. And certain things in this film that really just kind of tug on your heartstrings a little bit, in case you haven't seen it. It's kind of a newer movie. I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, Doc Hudson, man, breaks my heart. And when I saw that happen in a movie, my girlfriend was a mess. She was bawling. I found myself getting emotional. And for a movie about talking cars that can make me feel emotional, figured it was pretty good. Next up, we have The Incredibles 2. Incredibles 2 going to go right there in the good tier as well. When I saw this in theaters, I said, I like this more than the original Incredibles. Then my brain screwed on back right, and I said, you know what? That's not possible. I don't really do that. I've rewatched this one about 2 times. It's a fun movie, especially Jack and the raccoon. That's a very cool, funny dynamic they have. Also, that Elastigirl gets to go out and really be the name and wear the pants for the family, while Mr. Incredible has to stay home and take care of the kids and do what she did for so many years, and she gets to go do what he did for so many years. Seeing how she goes and handles that, she handles it much better than Bob Parr handles taking care of the kids and him trying to figure out math. A big, awesome superhero doesn't know how to do 8th grade math. It's super duper funny, really cool dynamic they had to play with there. The overall screenslaver villain wasn't someone I was huge about. I wanted more of the Underminer, but the screenslaver villain, we got him. It was fine. We got lots of cool humor and other cool heroes in there. Just wish we got more of the Underminer as our main villain. Other than that, it's still a really good movie. Next up, we have Onward. I'm going to put Onward in the amazing tier. And you know what? Onward might sneak its way up into the elite tier here very soon. Onward came out back in March. One of the few movies I got to see in theaters this year. I loved everything they had to offer. I love everything they did with it. Tom Holland and Chris Pratt have some amazing voices. But Ian and Barley, these characters, their little brother dynamic. I'm a sucker for a brother story. Anytime there's a brother story, I will cry. And I cried in this movie, except for this little girl. Why would you bring a little girl to a little kid movie, huh? It's ridiculous. But she started screaming at the top of her lungs when I was gonna cry. She really ruined it for me. Side note, Onward is fun. It's an adventure, and I love these adventure movies that kind of take some risks. Don't really know exactly where it's gonna go, and it really, really worked for me. I watched this one probably 3 times this year. I love everything about Onward. Next up, the reason we're doing this tier list, Soul. Soul's good. I can't put it higher than good right now. If you guys check out my review, I put that Soul disappointed me because Soul was a disappointment to me. I'm not saying it's not a good movie. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy many things about it. But for everyone who's saying, everyone basically put it at a overall like 100 out of 100, and it came in at about a 70 out of 100 for me. A very solid film, just something that like was so overhyped that everyone was saying it's the best Pixar movie ever. It wasn't, and actually, it's far from it. I enjoyed Soul quite a bit. I definitely will go back and rewatch it here probably within a month. Just didn't really hit me like Onward hit me, or really any of the movies above it really hit me. Soul was good, had definitely lots of good qualities, probably one of the best looking animated movies on this tier list. It just didn't really resonate with me the way I wanted it to. Still a great movie. Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey are amazing. A little bit of humor in there. Just seemed a little bit too messy, and that second act really dragged along for me. But that's just me. Next up is Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4, I'm going to put in the good tier as well. I had some fun with this one. I've seen it about twice now. It's good. It's funny. It has that Pixar magic. It has that Toy Story magic. I'm a diehard fan of Toy Story 3. I just wish Toy Story 3 ended at Toy Story 3. We got Toy Story 4, Bunny and Ducky, some awesome characters in there. Felt like we were kind of almost maybe fishing for some ideas, maybe fishing for a couple villains. It really did work. It's really a fun movie. It's honestly an emotional movie as well, and Buzz and Woody are all back. Buzz definitely takes the backseat. It's more of a Woody story here, so I'm guessing that's maybe why we got a Lightyear movie coming here in a couple years, but overall, it's still a solid movie. It still captures that Pixar magic. Just, I won't be watching Toy Story 4 as much as maybe everyone else, or just rewatching it really anytime soon. Next up, arguably my favorite movie on this list, Toy Story 3, is in the elite tier. 2 more spots there, folks. What's going to make it there? We got to find out. Toy Story 3 is everything to me. I watched in 2010. When I watched in 2010, I found myself as an 11-year-old kid getting emotional, and every time I watch it now, I get emotional. When they all, like, they're going out in the lava, and they all hold hands, like, we're going to do this together, is amazing. Lots of the Bear is a fantastic villain. These toys are going off somewhere because Andy grew up with us when we watched the movie. He's now going off to college, when basically my brother was getting ready to go to college. And we grew up with Andy, and that's what this film did so right. It took its time for Toy Story 3 to come out, and it ultimately paid off the most. A fantastic movie, an extremely emotional movie, extremely hilarious movie. I love everything about Toy Story 3. It very well may be about my number 1 by the time we're done with this video. Next up is Toy Story 2. I'm going to put Toy Story 2 in great. The first and only movie in great right now. Toy Story 2 is fun. It's awesome. This one and Toy Story 4 are fighting for that 4th spot on my Toy Story ranking. But Toy Story 2, you get introduced to Jessie and Bullseye. You get a good villain in it, and you get lots of things to enjoy. But definitely getting the addition of Jessie in this film is what really makes it stand out, and what really ultimately puts it in the great tier. I love Jessie. She's awesome. Then we have A Bug's Life. A Bug's Life's gonna go in okay. I'm not going to say it's a terrible movie. I'm not going to say it's a great movie, but we've seen a story like this before. And the character Flick is very, very cool. Very, very slick. Flick is slick. It's an enjoyable movie, but it's one I haven't revisited in with probably 10 years. I need to go back and rewatch it. I need to go back and give it another chance, see where it's going to ultimately sit on a ranking. But Bug's Life, I remember enjoying it quite a bit as a kid. And if I go back and watch other people's videos on it, I always think, like, you know what? Bug's Life, it's pretty okay. Maybe it'll make that good tier here in a little bit. Next up, we have Monsters, Inc. Another one in the elite tier. We only have one more spot for the elite tier. Can you guess what it is? Monsters, Inc. is everything to me. I love Monsters, Inc. And that's why I'm so glad we got Monsters University, because Monsters, Inc. is something I love my whole life. And then we got Monsters University. I was like, I get to see these characters again? Are you kidding me? I want to see a sequel to Monsters, Inc. Not a prequel. I want to see a sequel. I'm one of those guys. Sign me up. Put me in that column. But Monsters, Inc. is so cool. How do I become a scare, which we see in Monsters University, which makes me love Monsters, Inc. that much more. Welcome to the Himalayas! That's a line I say all the time. I love this movie. I love Mike Wazowski. I love Sullivan. I'm watching you, Mike Wazowski. Always watching. I say that line more than I probably should, because I don't know anyone named Mike Wazowski. Monsters, Inc. is so cool. A very inventive movie for the early 2000s when it came out. The animation style still holds up today, 15 odd years later. It is an awesome movie. It is epic. And Mike and Sully are some perfect characters. I love them. They're kind of like some of the staple characters for Pixar for me. It's like Mike Wazowski, Sullivan, Woody, Buzz. That's like my staple Pixar characters. Next up, we have Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo's going to go in the amazing tier. I enjoy Finding Nemo a lot. I think when I have kids, I'll enjoy it that much more because like, if my kid got lost, I could probably relate to that a lot more. That's what Pixar does really well. It makes movies for kids, but also makes it for like adults that really hit the adults hard. That's what they do really well. I feel like they did that well with Soul as well. This didn't make it as much for the kids. But back to Finding Nemo, this movie is for the kids and for the parents. They made a family movie, which is what I love about Pixar. They make these family movies that we can appreciate and that parents can love and children can love all the same. And Finding Nemo is emotional. Finding Nemo is hilarious with Dory and Crush, dude. And all this whole adventure of going across the sea of Marlin, who lived his life basically so secluded, so scared, had to go out of his shell and had to swim across the ocean. And it kind of shows like what would you do for the person you love most in this world. And this one goes mad hard, goes all the way, and shows what a parent will do for their child. Very, very emotional, very, very deep, and very, very awesome. Next up is The Incredibles. You guessed it, all right? You guessed it. Incredibles going in the elite tier, securing my top 5. Incredibles, man. Honey, where's my super suit? How do you not love this movie? From Lucius to Dash to Violet to Elastigirl and to Mr. Incredible himself, this movie is a star-studded, awesome superhero team that has amazing action, awesome montages, gives you some Rocky vibes, getting out there training, working out. I'm like, what? And also really shows you, like, when you hit rock bottom, you can go up there. And it kind of attaches to adults. Like, if you're unhappy with your day job, go and do what it is you truly want to do. No matter what the sacrifice is, sometimes you gotta do what ultimately makes you happy so you don't fall in that rut. That's how deep this movie is if you really do look at it. And it's awesome when they get to see Mr. Incredible go through that montage and go into that whole working out phase and goes back to go and start doing what he loves. And that's being a superhero and that's saving people. And Incredibles is deep. And it's secured a top 5 spot for me. And last though on this list is the First Cars. I'm gonna put the First Cars in good. First Cars is really enjoyable. Radiator Springs is awesome. Really cool to see. If you've ever been to Disneyland, you got to go to Radiator Springs. It's awesome. Lightning McQueen is amazing, but come on. You gotta love Mater. Larry the Cable Guy, I don't really know what happened to him, but he's the voice of Mater, and it's pretty dang hilarious. Cars are just fun. As a kid, I remember enjoying it so much. It's a very cool movie, not all that emotional, very funny, very cool, very inventive, and a movie that when I was a kid, I enjoyed watching it all the time. Alrighty, so now we're coming to the final ranking. Drumroll, please. My favorite Pixar movie of all time is Toy Story 3. At number 2 is Ratatouille. At number 3 is Coco. Number 4, Monsters, Inc. Number 5, The Incredibles. There it is in the elite tier, my top 5 Pixar. At number 6 is Onward. At number 7, Monsters U. At number 8, Up. At number 9, Toy Story. At number 10, Finding Nemo. At number 11, Toy Story 2. At number 12, Incredibles 2. At number 13, Inside Out. At number 14, Toy Story 4. At number 15, Soul. At number 16, Cars 3. At number 17, Cars. At number 18, Wall-E. Cancel me for that one, folks. At number 19 is Finding Dory. At number 20 is A Bug's Life. Number 21, we're going to go ahead and say The Good Dinosaur. Number 22, we're going to say Brave. And to kick final things off, in last place, number 23 is Cars 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love doing these tier lists. My first Pixar tier list. How does your guys' tiers relate? How's your guys' top 5 compare to mine? Where would you put in the elite tier? Thank you guys so much for watching. I love doing these type of videos. Make sure you guys are here for tomorrow because of DCEU tier list ranking. I'm very excited for all of it. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up button. I'm very close to 900 subscribers. Help me get there by the end of the year. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time